Hey ghouls. So, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have had a tough month when it comes to creating and kind of figuring out what the next chapter for creating looks like for me. And I figured the best way I could just kind of get through this tough time with you guys is just to talk to you about what is going on. I realized I've never even properly introduced myself and shared more about my life other than what you guys literally see on camera and what happens with content. So today I am basically having a reset for the New Year day with myself. I recently saw a meme on Instagram that was this really, really messy apartment or house or whatever it was. And it said, "Dear husbands, if your wife's room or living space looks like this, it most likely means that she is mentally not okay." And I immediately laughed because I feel like that is so true when it comes to my car. My car has all of these bags of returns in it. It's super dirty on the outside because I just haven't had time to go wash it in a hot minute. And it just got me thinking I need a day to myself where I go and get rid of all of these returns, clean my car, recenter myself, and also talk to my ghouls, because I've talked to a lot of people in my close circle about what's going on. And, a lot of them told me that I should not talk to you guys about what's going on and I should just do what's best for myself and just own it. But at the end of the day, I think I realized that my relationship with this community is a big reason that I wake up every day and continue to do this. And it doesn't feel right to me. It's very easy for someone who is very close to me to tell me how to treat you guys and what to share and not to share, but the reality is that they don't have the relationship I have with you guys. I have had real heart-to-heart Instagram private conversations with you guys on Instagram. We have bonded as a community, and I think the very least you deserve is just for me to explain to you what's going on and be honest with you. But I do acknowledge from my close circle that some things need to change. And so that's what I want to talk about today. And I feel like this has been very long-winded and you're what are you getting at? Are you quitting? I'm not quitting. Don't worry. But it is time to reevaluate who I am as a content creator. So the best way I could do that is just kind of share my content creating journey with you guys. So as you all know, this all started out with the Ghoul Mates podcast back in the spring of 2020. And then we started a YouTube channel, canceled the podcast, focus on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. You guys know the rest. But what you guys might not know is that the reason I started the podcast was because I wanted a space to be myself authentically, to be my most spooky, authentic self, because I had never had that opportunity before. I never thought that it would actually resonate with more people. And before I knew it, I had a real community worldwide. I love you guys so much. And at a certain point, I decided that I did not want to have a career anymore. I decided I was going to put all of my time and energy into making this space somehow work for me as a full-time salary to be able to replace my actual job. However, life has other plans for you sometimes, and I had set out to, just get an easy 9-to-5 job where I could do what I love, which is social, but, clock out at 5 most days, not really be yearning for more. It was just supposed to be a pit stop on my way to being able to sustain this full time. However, when you are working full time, it becomes extremely difficult to become a full-time creator. And the reason I say that is because it is a fast-paced game. And as much as you guys love me and you tell me to follow my heart, it is very difficult to do that when you are trying to monetize or make something your full-time salary. And the reason I say that is because as much as I would love to be able to upload any topic I want every day, the reality is the algorithm has decided what kind of content does well with my audience, and that is the kind of content they want me to do. And the minute I stop creating that kind of content, they tell me, not literally, but the algorithm sees it as like, well, this content isn't resonating with your current audience, so we're not going to push it out to more people. And you just get stuck in this rhythm as a creator, if you are trying to make money as a creator, of having to appease what will do well and make you money alongside what you truly want to be doing. And I am in a very unique position, and I realize how fortunate I am that that easy job that I was just planning to take to, like, you know, continue to do social media, have a job, turned into my career again. And I'm very fortunate that I finally had a director that saw my potential and knew that I could do so much more than just social media for his team. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I quickly realized that as soon as I would take this position, it was going to mean that I would have to take a step back from Mandy Spooks in certain aspects. And that was the hardest thing to do, because I knew my career was something I had worked towards so long. I had gotten my master's degree. I had a very niche experience lineup of social media. I could truly say I'm an expert at social. I had the results, I had the education behind it. So it basically came down to do I continue to pursue and turn Mandy Spooks into my full-time job, or do I accept that my career is going to be first again? And ultimately I decided on my career for many reasons, but I think the biggest reason would be, if I don't try, I don't want to regret this in the future. I feel like I kind of have a very strong understanding of what it would take to succeed and make Mandy Spooks my full-time job, and you all are very aware that it led down a very dark path. I wasn't happy doing the kind of videos that I needed to do in order to continue to grow, and it just led to a lot of feelings I just didn't like as a creator. I wasn't being genuine. I wasn't doing what I set out to do, which was to help other girls live their most authentic, spooky lives. So here I am, looking forward to the new year in my career, because I think it's the first time that I have personal goals on skills I want to add to my resume again, and just continue to remain a industry professional at what I do. And I don't say that lightly. In the past I would have been so afraid to say yeah, I am one of the best at what I do in my career, and would be worried of seeming cocky about it. But that is the truth. I have worked so hard for this moment in my career, and I don't think I'd be doing myself justice if I didn't share that or say that proudly, and that is also part of this new era I want to talk about. I feel like I have set out, or what I set out to do as Mandy Spooks has happened. It brings me so much joy to have you guys message me and tell me thank you so much for helping me be okay with living my best spooky life and not being afraid of what people think. I've had people tell me that I help with your anxiety attacks, which thank you for allowing me to come into that space of yours and help you through it. And I've had some of you reach out to me about how I've helped you overcome bullying. And I think the one thing that has been sticking out to me the most lately is I think that I have a lot to offer all women, not just spooky women. And I feel like if I could expand my content to not be just focused on my spooky lifestyle and focus more on my life as a millennial, as a working professional, as a dog mom, as a wife, I feel like I could probably reach more people that also need to hear how important it is to like advocate for yourself and live your most authentic life. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to be spooky. I think what I'm realizing is I have outgrown this phase of my life as a content creator, and I want to do more. I want to share more of my life with you that does not have to be so spooky centric. I feel like I have executed every idea I have had as a niche spooky creator at this point. I am very blessed to say that I have lived my best spooky dreams, but I've gone to HHN, I've gone to all of the local haunts, like I have done anything and everything a ghoul could dream of when it comes to creating spooky content. The only thing that I have not fulfilled from that is creating spooky things with my husband the way I set out to do, and that is something that we are excited to do again. That does not necessarily mean it has to fit into what this like Mandy Spooks universe is. So Rudy and I, Mr. Spooks and I, really want to get back to creating things together, whether they're spooky or not. And so I have shared in the past, like, please follow the Ghoulmates channel because we are going to be doing some spooky projects together, but there are other projects that are not going to be spooky that we're really looking forward to doing. And so I want to share everything with you ghouls, and I want to show you what your life could be like if you're willing to put in the hard work and enjoy the highs and lows, because that's been another common theme in my life the past month, is realizing that the moments I have been the most down in my life have been when my input does not match the output I'm receiving in jobs, in life, in love. You know, like it always comes back to, is this giving me as much as I'm giving it? And the other coin, or like the other side of that coin, is, are you willing to put the input to get the output that you want? And I have always been willing to put in the input, but it's when the output doesn't match that I am not my happiest. And I'm also not happiest when I don't earn the things that I have, you know? And my family will be the first to tell you, like, I refuse to accept help because I want to know that I have earned things on my own, and it's to a flaw sometimes, but I think there are still some really positive things to learn from me, you know, like, and I also want to share that I 1000% would not be at this point in my life, in my career, in my relationships, if it had not been for Mandy Spooks. You know, Mandy Spooks is a character that I put on when I realized there were spooky ghouls like you who needed her. I needed her. You know, putting on Mandy Spooks and having a camera made it so much easier to do what I wanted most of the time and not be afraid. But there were times when it bothered me that someone would like make a comment on the streets about what I was wearing, or there were times when I didn't even want to actually be covering spooky movies because I was like just so overwhelmed by it already. But Mandy Spooks kept me strong, and Mandy Spooks taught me a lot about what it really means to live authentically and advocate for yourself. And because of that, I was able to get the job that I knew I deserved. I was able to move up from there and be at the point where I'm at in my career now. And so this all just keeps coming back to, like, I feel that my current side of Mandy Spooks, or like what Mandy Spooks is right now, has completed itself. Like, I feel ready to close that chapter, but I also am struggling with how do I evolve Mandy Spooks, because I know that there is still so much left for me to do as Mandy Spooks, but what I'm trying to do is also merge her with who I truly am. You know, I feel that I have been Mandy Spooks on camera for so long, for 4 years, which is insane, that I am really struggling when it comes to figuring out, like, how do I bring Amanda back into the content, back into who I am. And that's where you guys come in. If you are still watching, thank you. It means the world to me that you care enough to hear me rant about how confused I am about my life right now. But let me find a parking spot. I did not anticipate arriving here so quickly while talking. So we're just gonna randomly park here. Hopefully the sun works in our favor. Okay. So, as I was saying, I am struggling to figure out what that next step is. And that is me being 1000% honest and genuine with you ghouls. I was worried that if I said, like, Mandy's a character, I'm not going to be spooky 100% of the time anymore, that it's going to seem like Mandy Spooks was never genuine. But Mandy Spooks was genuine and was what I needed at the time to keep pushing through, to survive, to finally demand the life that I knew I deserved. Not just yearn for it or want it or work hard, but just like demand it. And I want you to know that if you are watching this, that you 1000% deserve to demand the life that you dream of, just like I have. And I'm trying to figure out how in the world I can expand this like spooky lifestyle universe into a space where we talk about how hard life is sometimes. We talk about being dog moms, wives, being working professionals, about how tired we are, but at the end of the day, like how worth it all of that hard work is when you have these magical moments that appear out of the hard input that you are giving. So I don't know what that looks like. I am not going to tell you guys that this is the last time I change things or that I'm going to rebrand or I'm not going to rebrand. I really don't know what the future holds for me right now. All I know is that it is the first time in my entire content creating journey where content is no longer going to be created with the hope of becoming my full-time income, because I'm very fortunate to say that that is what my career is for. You know, my career is a space for me to continue to grow, push myself, to keep learning more, to help another business that I am very passionate about and care for and believe in continue to grow, to help my teammates continue to grow. And this space here is to continue to help you guys hopefully grow and find your most authentic, happy life. But also be a creative space for me that I might not always have in my career anymore, because as I move up, I am having to focus more on analytical stuff and let go of the creative stuff that I really love. So that's what this space is here for. You know, I want to approach content as like my happy oasis now versus my spooky oasis. And just like share those magical moments with you. And if times get tough, hopefully show you the hard stuff too, you know, because I feel like as content creators, we're really good about showing the output of a lot of things, but we don't always show the input of how we got to spooky VIP access. And for me, sometimes the glamorous side of my job that I'm always afraid to show because people don't know the input side of it. So I'm here for all of it, and I hope that you guys are excited. I will always be spooky. I mean, look at me. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, it took so long for me to be willing to record this video because I was like, well, if I'm trying to appeal to non-spooky women, are they going to be turned off by the way I look? And I quickly identified, like, no, that is the way I used to think before I developed Mandy Spooks. And the truth is, like, this space is for any woman. I mean, anyone else is welcome. Everyone is welcome here. But my goal here is to become a space where women, specifically millennial women, can come in and feel like, wow, I'm not the only one going through these things. That is my goal with this channel. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it looks like. I'm very confused, as you can tell, but I felt like it was something I needed to share with you ghouls in order to just move past this phase of uncertainty and start creating whatever my heart desires. And every idea I have is still spooky, but that doesn't mean that a non-spooky topic won't come up or that spooky is gone forever. Like, it just means now I'm just gonna be me. So I would actually love to reintroduce myself to you ghouls right now and try to be the most holistic, authentic version of myself that I possibly can be. And I would really love it if, in turn, you would introduce yourself in the comments below and tell me some stuff about you that you think I might not know already. So, my name is Amanda. My favorite people call me Mandy. I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now, but my name is Amanda. My favorite people call me Mandy because those are the people who know me, who know the most authentic version of me, I feel. I lead with love. Everything I do is with love and passion and excitement. I believe in growing. You know, I never want to stop growing. I think that the people who are the most happy and successful are the ones who know that they should never stop growing and are always hungry to continue learning. And I am bubbly and happy all the time. Like, it is very rare that I am not this really optimistic, happy person. My coworkers love to tell me that I'm very nice, and I'm very proud of that. I have tried very hard to lead with kindness as well. You know, I have not had the best leaders in my past, and I try very hard to remember how the bad ones made me feel and how the good ones made me feel, and use the good ones as a compass to be an even better version of myself. I love pop culture more than just spooky pop culture. Like, I love pop culture, everything. I love it. So I'm really excited to explore more of that with you ghouls. I have so many interests to share with you, from like music to movies to trends. Like, I'm dying to do a video for you breaking down like all of my thoughts on this like Stanley Cup situation. But I am just like, imagine everything you know about Mandy and imagine that like that's her times 10, but with everything in her life. Like, I love everything around me. I love hard. I love to inspire people. I am a pusher. Like, my husband and my best friend will tell you that it is to a detriment sometimes that I am a pusher. I want everyone around me to continue to grow and push themselves to be the best version of themselves. If they're unhappy, I ask them why. What are we going to do to fix that? You know, like, I just want everyone to be happy and live their best authentic life, because if not now, then when, you know? I love Taylor Swift. As you all know, I love Olivia Rodrigo. I am a hardcore Katy cat. Like, I loved Katy Perry so much until recently, I feel. And I don't know, like, I could go on and on, but I would love to do like an Ask Me Anything or a Get to Know Me video, maybe, where you guys send me questions of things you're curious about, now that it's not just going to be spooky stuff. But I hope that that gives you a good glimpse of who I am. I'm originally from Texas, moved to Arizona, got fed up of the heat, and decided to move to Colorado, and living my best life in a hoodie and beanies now for like 6 to 9 months out of the year. I think that is me in a nutshell. Thank you so much if you watched this long. I guess I do need to give a couple of housekeeping notes. Not haunted housekeeping, because we're evolving. But I do want to say I am incredibly sorry to the Spookworm Club. I did not fulfill my commitments the rest of this year, and life really just got in the way. My job got in the way, and so I think I'm going to officially share that this is the end of Spookworm Club. I just don't have the capacity to maintain it alongside my job and trying to reintroduce a lot of the things I loved back into my life that I have sacrificed over the past few years to really try to make this content creating dream happen. But it was just really tough to remain competitive and do everything I wanted while having a full-time job. It's tough, and I don't know what else to say to that, but I am very sorry for any broken promises that I made. You know, whenever I did promise things, it was because I genuinely and truly wanted to do them, and it just became really hard when push came to shove, whether it was because of like life reasons, work reasons. Sometimes I was just tired. So yeah, that will be the end of Spookworm Club. And the other side of the haunted housekeeping, not haunted, oh my god, it's habit. Guys, I gotta learn that we're moving on to a new life now. But the other part of housekeeping was memberships. So I am going to say something that might not seem fair to you ghouls, but I hope you'll hear me out. So there are currently different like perks for each membership, and if I change them, I think YouTube said it would like completely remove them, or I'd have to like start from scratch or some business, I don't know what. But ultimately I don't have the mental capacity, time, space, or energy to like go through having my memberships broken. So I'm just gonna tell you ghouls, and I will try to remind you every few weeks, I don't know how often, but I've made the decision to remove different perks from different memberships. And the reason I say this is because it is not lost on me how horrible the economy is right now. Like seriously, we could have an entire video about how heartbreaking the economy is right now. But that being said, I know that there are so many of you who have always supported me throughout my content creating journey, who have been Patreons at some point, who followed me to the Spotify podcast platform for donations, all of those things. And I thank you so much for that. And I welcome it still, because as much as I cannot make this my full time at this point in my career or anything, your support does help us a lot, because we still do spend a lot of money on equipment and the adventures we share, and it just goes a long way. But I am removing different perks from each membership, because I don't think with the way the economy is right now that it's fair to like have bonus content for people who can pay more versus people who can't, because that's just not the world we live in right now. And as it is, I am not even really able to fulfill like all the promises I made for those memberships at this point. But I do still want to have a space to give you guys those perks. So moving forward, I will be treating all member tiers the same. So if you're subscribed at a higher tier and you would like to move down, this is your opportunity to do so. What you can expect on there is, I think this is probably going to be the last time that I give any kind of update on where I'm at as a creator, just because I felt that this was kind of like not fair to just like change the script on you guys and not communicate. But I also didn't want it to turn into another like I'm gonna rebrand video and all of this stuff. Like, I don't think moving forward I need to treat this space as a brand with like official updates anymore. Like, I'm really just going to do what I want and feel like doing and invested in at that moment. But I feel like my memberships area will kind of be a space where I can be a little more personal with you ghouls about like what's going on in my life. I would love to maybe even do it where it's like my monthly bonus video becomes like just to sit down and drive with me as I talk to you about what's going on in my life type situation. So I do still plan to do something for memberships. I just don't know what yet, and I definitely feel that it should be equal for everyone. So no matter whether you're subscribed to 3, 5, 20, I think there's like a higher tier, I don't even know how much it is, you will all get the same perks. Of course, I think there's like a really expensive one that says that you could like produce an episode. Of course, you can 1000 do that if you decide that that's how much you want to support me. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. And then as far as the merch shop goes, you guys know that Hello Sparkles is my designer, my best school friend. We might collaborate on some new merch in the future, but as of right now, I think I just need to figure out like what this next phase is going to look like for me. And what else? Are there any other like loose ends? Frequency. As I've mentioned, this is no longer going to be my like number one income driver, I guess. I don't know what to call it. So I don't think I will be pushing myself to do one video a week anymore. I anticipate there will be a lot of phases when I am doing that, just because like I love doing this is my creative space, I love to do it, but there might be times when, you know, work gets a little heavier, and in the past I would like just push through and create the content, be continuous or consistent, and that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, is just not feeling forced to create when I just don't have any energy left in me. So I think those are all of the updates for now. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any additional questions. But like I said, it is truly an honor to officially meet you guys for who I am as a whole. Like I said, not just spooky. I assume that a lot of you are not just spooky either, so I would love to get to know you at a deeper level, love to understand what are your struggles, what are your dreams in life, like let's just take this to the next level. And as far as like all the spooky talk goes, like I'm sure it will still creep in. I might use Instagram more for a space of that if it creeps in. I don't know yet. Like I said, I'm not making any promises, but I do feel I'm at a point where I need to stop making promises, stop feeling so niche, and just kind of like go with the flow for a while and see what I fall into in this next phase of creating. I hope that you will stick around, but I also want to say from the bottom of my heart, if you feel like this is the end of our journey together and you need to subscribe, thank you so much for your support this far, and for also being honest with yourself about the kind of content that you want to see, because you deserve the kind of content you want in your life, and I don't want to be a space that takes away any time from the things you truly want, you know? So yeah, I am really looking forward to this next year with you ghouls. I am excited. I'm a little bit scared because I don't do well without strategy, but I think that that is part of the test for me now. Is I've always created with strategy, so it's going to be really interesting to see what creating without a strategy looks like for the first time in my entire life. It's going to get crazy. But anyway, I hope you all had a magical holiday season. I hope that you are excited. I hope that the year brings you a lot of love, joy, and happiness, because that is what you deserve. Until next time, sending you ghouls and kisses. Bye.